Hi guys, welcome back to another P3D version 5 video. We are today flying a plane we haven't flown in a very long time, and that's the Carenado Fokker 50. And this one is available for P3D, officially only up to P3D version 4, but it works kind of or exactly to the same extent in version 5. And it's also available in X-Plane. Officially up till X-Plane 11, but there's an unofficial patch for X-Plane 12. And I guess depends on which sim you prefer, and that's where you should get it. Or I think generally, objectively, I've heard better things about the X-Plane version, so that might be the one to get. And you also have rain effects and stuff on your windshield, so might be some additional benefits of having it on X-Plane. But I only have it on P3D, so that's where we're gonna fly it. And I guess you also have more up-to-date liveries on X-Plane 12, because since it's still flying in X-Plane 12, people like to keep the liveries up-to-date, which will make sense shortly why I mentioned that. But basically today we're going to be flying for Amapola, which is, I might have butchered the pronunciation, but Amapola is the name of one of these Swedish regional or domestic airlines, and it's actually now called Populair, I think, something like that. And that's why I mentioned it might be better to fly the X-Plane 12 because you have those up-to-date liveries. But we only have the Amapola ones for P3D. We have this one and then the Big Mike one, which looks a bit different. But yeah, I thought, why not? This airline has mainly flown under the Amapola brand for most of its existence since 2004. I don't think it flies any routes that are kind of its own routes, in the sense that it's taking the risk. It's basically flying government subsidized routes to northern Sweden. So very kind of weird mix of airports that it fly to. At least when I checked what it flew to, it was quite weird ones like Örnsköldsvik, or let me see actually if I can find the Amapola routes. Maybe it's called Popular routes. But yeah, it's Örnsköldsvik, Kramfors, Vilhelmina. Yeah, it's routes that you maybe wouldn't. Gällivare. I mean, it's not even Kiruna, right? I mean, it's not the bigger ones, or Umeå, or hell, not even Skellefteå. Nor southern Sweden. Or I guess they might have flown to southern Sweden as well. Wouldn't surprise me. I know they fly abroad as well a bit. So Mariehamn in Finland and Turku, which I guess I'm not sure. Yeah, I guess those would be subsidized as well. But yeah, enough speaking. We'll get this plane up in the air. In terms of actually though, one more thing to mention, just the inspiration to do this flight is actually based on a YouTube channel called From the Flight Deck, which you might want to check out. It's basically just a lot of flights with I'm gonna guess like a camera or whatever those things are called that you can have on top of your head that they put like in the front of the cockpit. Basically that's how they film them, with some nice sounds, etc. GoPro, that's the name, right? Yeah, just flying all of these different ones. Hemavan, lots of landings in Arlanda. They even fly to Borlänge-Dala airport. So that's cool, that I didn't know. So we can do that. That's a very nice airport by Orbex. The one we have at Örnsköldsvik is a freeware one, but I thought it was a bit more fun to fly a bit longer. But yeah, Åbo. So a wide variety of different videos. Pretty cool if you're into that. So shout out to them. And yeah, apart from that, we are here. Let me check if we have. Are we still? We're still waiting for traffic control, so we have no other AI aircraft. I did increase the sliders a bit. In terms of add-ons, I've added the Simmer's Home package. I haven't added the effects because the lights become super bright with it. I do want to add those because otherwise you don't have any kind of landing lights, etc. But the problem is that they're just too bright during the day, so it's not even fun to to fly because they're just crazy bright. But yeah, generally speaking, they do look really good during night. So hopefully it's not gonna become night before we land. I think the sun is, well, it's not that high up in the sky actually. Now I'm a bit worried. What time did I put this? 11. We should be fine. It's day. We should make it. But we have the exterior PBR. I removed the interior though with model converter because, or I didn't actually remove it with model converter. I just went back to the old interior model because PBR is hit and miss with the interior. You gotta do it well, and you can't add it to everything because it just looks like a shiny blob. But it's a very beautiful exterior model with the PBR added. I think Carenado has done a good job with this aircraft. Also, the X-Plane version looks really nice, maybe even better. Because I guess that one was released after this one, so maybe they were able to tweak some things. I'm not sure, did the Carenado release them themselves or did they work together with someone? That can also, I guess, help a bit, right? You get some outside perspective. But yeah, it's a beautiful, quite funny looking aircraft. I'm not sure if I prefer this one or the older one that I have from Just Flight. I think the older one from Just Flight is probably better system-wise than the Carenado one. But this one, I guess, looks a bit better. And I guess there is more of a connection in the sense that, you know, I've seen this airline at the Arlanda airport, for example. But yeah, nothing else to mention. We're gonna get started. It's not gonna be a very short flight. It's 246 nautical miles, and we're flying a turboprop. So it will be a bit of a hike. So let's jump inside and let's get a nice viewpoint from the outside. The question is, what viewpoint do we want to have? You can see I've set up a few different ones. I think one that might be nice is actually this one. And we'll do it like this. And then or maybe we can do it like this actually. This looks nicer. And then we'll jump into the cockpit. Another thing that we're gonna put batteries on first, that I've finally been able to get working is Pack X. I had a call with Colin and he found the issue, something with the DLL file. So now it should work. We'll just have to set this up correctly. And we're flying to ESNO. We're gonna fly with a flight number. Let's just do the one we always set. We're flying 19,000 feet altitude. Flight time 2 hours. We can do 40 minutes. It's gonna go faster than that. Let's see if we have the Fokker here. We have the 50, so that's nice. Pax 50. No Wi-Fi. Maybe they had Wi-Fi nowadays. Let's put that on. Boarding music. We have it saved here. We don't have anything for Amapola, but I am gonna put something. Let's see what I'll put. Just do it for funds. Well, maybe we can just do the generic one. And the custom safety brief, we'll do the generic one. I was thinking if I should do SAS, but that's, I guess, a bit wrong. So the generic one will be perfect. So we'll start that. And it's great to see it being back on. I'm also gonna check actually that we have the properties right. Yeah, we have the speakers. We have the settings on this one correct. I want it through my headphones. And let me see, mute audio in external view. Yeah, I do prefer that. Playback voice. Short deboarding. I can do a realistic, I guess. Seatbelt signs partial. Okay, so that's nice. We have that set up. And we'll do GSX as well, request the boarding. One thing though that I found that's a bit, I guess, sad is that I don't think there's any kind of connection to external I mean, it's this one, right? But it doesn't seem to to do anything. Let me just open the cargo door. This is also one of the negatives, is that if you're gonna open the cargo doors, you basically open all the service doors. That's a bit of a bummer. And this one doesn't really have a cargo hold in the same sense that other aircrafts have. But okay, so there's no real external power. So that's a bit of a bummer, but c'est la vie, we'll survive. There's neither, I think, an APU. Let me just put the one we have, even though this wouldn't have to, of course, be the same one as the one we use with the ATC, but I just put them always because it's easier to remember. Let's put 1-1. That sounds good. And I don't think there's any. Now actually I'm a bit. Let me actually pause quickly. I think what might have happened is I didn't start with the default ones. 1 second. Okay, there we go. So I think the problem was that now we can have the external. So you can see that you just have to reload the aircraft up with another add-on first, or switch from this one to another one. That's the main one. So we're just gonna have to request boarding again with GSX. That's a bit of a annoyingness, but we'll get past that. I'm just gonna have to open the doors again and stuff. But yeah, pretty quick. Now everything should work, so now we'll see a bit more lights. But yeah, that's a bit of a bummer that it starts like that. I'm not sure it's P3D version 5 related, or if it's just, unfortunate. But yeah, you can see now we can have all these off, and we can see that you can kind of put on the external power, but it doesn't really do anything. To be fair to them, does it really matter? No, from A to B flight doesn't really. So it's, I guess, what you feel about the immersion yourself. You do have working Vipers, but no rain effects, which is a bit weird because you have it on the the ATR and the B120. You don't have it on the Saab either, though. So I guess some got it, some of the newer ones. I haven't tried the Dornier 228 that I got yet and checked that one. So let's see if that one has it or not. But yeah, it seems like only their newer models got that update. In terms of doing tests, I think we have that, and I think it works pretty well. Let's put on these so we can populate the universal, the FMC. I've always wondered if I could replace these with the ISG one. The problem is that how it would connect with the autopilot and with this. If you're good at that sort of thing, you should definitely do it, because I think the ISG one is much better, but this one works. It's just not very nice. So what we can do is, we have all these different tests. So I think that's pretty dope. Fire tests. Maybe it only plays once, I don't know how it's... I think that's oil pressure, yeah. So now it's centered again. And then, let me see, you have some further tests. I'm just gonna put this away, it's a bit in the way. But you have, for example, this. So glide slopes, pull up, wind shear, wind shear. So it's not, in their defense, they have added some of these things that you want to see in your aircraft. Of course, it's not very high system emulation in any way, but it's there.
We are ready to go when you are.
And seems like Pack X is ready. And the passenger, this is pretty cool. It's not working 100%, but it's still nice that they kind of come up or from the building and they don't, drive a bus here and then they walk. So that's pretty cool. It's like they've been walking down here. I think this section and the next one are being totally kind of updated. And now we should have some air traffic as well. So let's see how it will look in a couple of years here in Arlanda. I know, for example, that this is the old Orbix one, right? So they don't even have that area there. That's kind of new. Is it Terminal 5, I think. So yeah, they have expanded it a bit with some more parking spots. But yeah, this is the best we're ever, to be honest, we're ever gonna get in P3D, unfortunately. But you know, one can always hope, one can dream. There we have actually a plane coming into land. Is it runway 8, I would guess? So that looks like a SAS. Do they now have the Sky team, or is it still... And let me pause. Yeah, look at that Sky team. So crazy. I don't even have a livery with Sky Team P3D. I mean, I hope there's gonna be one, but yeah, all the ones are with Star Alliance. That's so strange to see. Let's see if this one has the Star Alliance one. Maybe not that detail on these static ones. Huh? They're getting aboard, doing a bit of a pirouette. That's a bit funny. That's a bit funny. Does this guy do it as well? Yeah, gotta. Whoop. Yeah, there we go. But okay, enough of that. Enough fun. Let's set this up. It's gonna be pretty quick. So one of the benefits with the Carenado ones, they're easy ATB full of planes, so there's not too much to do or set up. Not sure. Maybe the Fokker 50 is also kind of easy. I mean, to be honest, even the Bombardier, the Dash 8, the Havilland is, I would say, pretty easy to set up. I mean, but that one has so much higher system depth. So I mean, the turboprops, maybe they aren't supposed to be that difficult, right? Okay, so here you have to enter the airports. This is what 1 and 2 means. You'll go to next and you'll see the flight plan here where you populate the rest. And then if you go to menu, I think you can do the departure. Before we do that, let's contact let's just see we have the right cruise altitude. We'll validate and file our flight plan. I'm just going to show you the flight. So you can see we're going to be flying over the ocean for a lot of this flight. For some reason, why is it on Walker? Let me see if I change to something. Just to try. The Acropolis. Maybe it just got stuck. Amapola, there we go. Yeah, we're not flying Walker, we're flying Amapola today. So let's connect. And it's gonna load a bit. I need to check if there's been an update for this one, because I think it's getting there, but it's not as stable as the version 2 one was. That one was much better.
12.
Okay, it wants us to take off here at runway 8. Well, that's fine, it's pretty close.
Arriving runway 01
It's the
left,
second closest one.
01 right,
Compared to
departing
01 left.
runway 08.
Yeah, this looks good.
Arlanda Airport information
Yeah,
November.
let's move that.
950
We'll
local
switch
winds
to
are 0.
80s. Or I guess we can take the info.
Local winds are 044 at 5 knots.
044 at 5 knots, that's fine.
Visibility 6 miles.
6 miles, that's
Sky
good.
condition VFR.
VFR.
Temperature -11.
Minus
Dew
11.
point -13.
Minus
Current
13.
QNH is 1020.
10.
Arriving runway 01
20.
left. 01 right. Departing runway 08. Arlanda Airport
08.
information
Yep.
November.
Thanks for that.
950.
And one thing I've been thinking of getting is the real turb one, actually. I haven't yet gotten that, but they have some nice ones. They have this volumet, so it's like 80s, but for specific places, I guess. Let me actually check so I don't say something wrong. It's a network of radio station that sends continually updated weather reports, like METARs, TAF, SIGMETs. Okay, so that's something I want. That's something I want to add. So let's see when we get to do that. But it's definitely on my to add list. Not sure why these ones are. Oh, I know why. It's because I didn't put this in cold and dark. That's also why a lot of these weren't on the off switch from the get-go, which they should have been. If I would have wanted cold and dark, so to speak. Okay, let's talk with the ATC. Amapola 4003, ready to copy IFR clearance.
Amapola 4003 is cleared to Echo Sierra November Oscar. Fly the Reason 3 Lima departure then as filed.
Reason 3.
Expect departure runway 08.
08.
Climb to flight level 060 via the departure.
06.
Expect higher clearances 2 minutes after departure. Malmo control on 118.0. Squawk 5641.
5641.
4003 is cleared to Echo Sierra November Oscar.
5641.
3 Lima departure then as filed. Climb to flight level 060 via departure. Expect higher clearances 2 minutes after
And I must say, it looks very
Malmo control
realistic,
on
the cockpit. I mean,
118.0.
having looked at those videos that I show with the YouTube
5641.
and some other screenshots when they show kind of the
003
inside
feedback
of the
correct.
Amapola ones. Yeah,
QNH is
it looks very
1020.
very
Contact
correct
our
in
landed
terms of the
ground on
looks. Even the FMC, even
121.7.
though
When
the
ready for pushback, have a nice one.
the functionality of the FMC is probably not that good.
Ground on 121.7.
1020, that's good.
Amapola 4003.
And I think we're basically ready. So what we can do is start closing all the doors. We'll ask for pushback and departure. We don't need de-icing, do we? Amapola 4003, ready for pushback.
Amapola 4003 pushback approved.
Pushback
We have the anti-collision lights on
Amapola
already. I didn't even notice that. Are they
4003.
blinking? Yeah, that's the red one below.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
And let me find a
Due to
nice
icing conditions,
position.
please stand by for engine start until push completed
This one
and
will
brake
be
set.
perfect, I think. Okay, they want us to wait. We're gonna ignore that. Because we know better than ATC. We have nav. One thing we want to put here is map.
Check completed.
Then we want to do FMC. So we have the right source. It's also here that you do the decision height, which you can see down there. LNAV. Yeah, it's a bit weird how, like, if you press the LNAV one, the AP engages. I don't know why. That's strange. Maybe that's how it's supposed to be, so you're not supposed to engage it on the ground, but feels a bit weird. Standard pushback. And we're gonna add some vertical selector 1.5. You also have the yaw dampener. I think we can engage this, but is it after takeoff and after landing? Not sure. I know with a lot of aircraft it's like that, specifically the turboprop, so maybe we'll follow that. We should be able to land without it anyway. But yeah, I think we're ready to go. I'm just gonna check Pack X. Yeah, it's pre-flight, so that's good. Don't need to do any more tweaking there. Lights, etc. are set. We have the starting. And there we choose, I guess, which engine. Ignitions are on. We have the fuels in kilos. That's good. In terms of this barrow, I guess it's from the landing altitude perspective. What do we know about our airport that we're going to? We know we're supposed to be landing at 12, so there's an ILS there. That's good. The runway is on an altitude of yeah, what's the altitude actually? Can't be that high, can it? Let me check if it's clearer. Some of these are a bit hard. I'm reading it on my hardware iPad. Elevation 354. Okay, it was there. Okay, 354. So I guess like that, 3. times. And then the barrow will do the same one that we have here for now. I guess we'll have to tweak that afterwards. And we are ready to go. Releasing the parking brake.
Push. Due to icing conditions, please stand by for engine start until push completed and brake set.
Yes, but we are gonna ignore that. I will start with the right one. I think the values come up. I'll put this into the start mode. And it does come alive pretty quickly. That's something you can mention in P3D version 5 and I think version 6 there's no kind of bugs. But I think in the X-Plane 12 version there's some bugs with the props being invisible and stuff, so just something to keep in mind. Pack X feels great. I love the software because it's so simple. Luke Airtool is great, but it's a bit more of a hassle. And there's someone coming down on 01. Swiss A220 looks like a looking good. Guess we can put that into 100%, and then we can start the left one. Put it to start. This trim is a bit, it kind of jumps, I've noticed. So trying to keep it in somewhat reasonable state. Let me also put on the transponders so we don't forget that. That's the floodlight, we don't want that. You have the panel lights. They work pretty well. We even have it on the glare sheet. So the cockpit lighting works pretty nice. We can confirm good engine start. But yeah, it's the outside light that you can't really see. So if I put on the taxi light, it's basically just gonna look like that. But there's really no... that's the... Well, technically it's lighting that vehicle up. But as you can see, nothing with the ground. So it does work, but I guess it's you know, since it's not for native P3 version 5, it's set up a bit wrong. Okay, and we had seatbelt signs on, that was good. No smoking on. These are is this the emergency lights? Yeah. Yeah, that one should have been off, my mistake. But yeah, no exterior lights. And this one is set. Okay, we can turn off those. Low pitch. There's some options here. You even have a flex knob, but it doesn't show anything here, which I find a bit weird. I've been trying to figure out this. There's like some reason. You have some of these avionics ones, but I don't think they do anything in response or in relation to that one. Yeah. Oh, and now we lost this one, right? And you can see this one works, also the testing one, so yeah. There is some cool stuff. The probe one seems to be on automatically. You can put low window heat, so we have that. But yeah, look at that. It's a bit weird. Then if you shut this, it disappears, right? But yeah. Oh. One thing we totally forgot about was, of course, doing our flight plan. I got too excited. It's not a long one. The only problem is that we can't do, and this is the big minus, we can't do airways. Super annoying with all the Carenado ones. Not the end of the world, because airways are made out of different waypoints. So what we can do instead is enter the waypoints by themselves. But yeah, would be nice to not have to do that. And the last one is ESSA. feel like that's a bit too high. But yeah, you can't even change the altitude one, so oh well. Sucks to suck, I guess. You can see we have a few different ones, but you know, you can't put anything here. I mean, it shows the right values that we have, but it's just non-functional, so I usually like to keep this on the one that works the best, the flight plan one. We can also put on, because we do have weather radar, so we can put that on. We can zoom out a bit. I think 5 is usually sufficient. We might have a bit. We'll do 1200 for the climb speed. Check outside views, and I think I'm gonna put it into the spot view. We'll release the parking brakes. Another thing to remember is this ASL, so it gets the right altitude. And one thing that you'll notice is that it's gonna be white everywhere, and that's because I've upgraded to the FS Scenery Sweden version 2. I got an email from the guy Fernando who makes FS Scenery, and he's unfortunately sick, so he needs support, and I felt like that was something that was kind of appropriate since I've felt a lot of enjoyment flying his nice sceneries, and now I realized I forgot to ask for taxi clearance. Let's ask for that. We'll have our co-pilot do that. But yeah, so I got the version 2 Sweden and then Papua New Guinea.
Amapola 400.
I'll probably get another one like Finland version 2 at some point, and maybe some of these other ones. I was thinking about Ukraine, for example. But let's see. But yeah, so if you have some extra and you want to fly in some nice country with really beautiful photoreal, then I can highly suggest him. I would say for his price he makes probably the best photoreal after the True Earth photoreals, and then I think Living Airports one is also better in terms of the autogen. I think he has pretty good, but he's a lot of areas that don't have autogen. So that's the biggest. And actually now I realized I'm going to 01. We wanna take off from 08. So we wanna turn right here. I'm not really paying enough attention. But look at this beauty, it's such a different plane. And I think Amapola, now Popular Air, is the last kind of regular operator of the Fokker 50 in Europe. I think there's some other places, but it's Panama, it's Australia, Iran. But yeah, if you want to fly the Fokker 50 in Europe, go to Sweden of all places. It's a damn shame seeing all of these, this variety in aircrafts being lost. Maybe it's more efficient, but it doesn't take away from the fact that it's boring with all the Airbuses and Boeings. Sorry, but that's just the fact. Even though I of course like being a passenger on those aircraft, but in terms of a simulator and appreciative or being appreciative of the variety in the world in terms of diversity of aircraft, it would be nice to have or to continue having a lot of variety. Okay, let's turn here. And we can start braking a bit. The taxiing is pretty awful on this one. I'm not sure how to tweak taxiing. I think with some of these areas, like the Carenado ones, it should be easy because of the fact that, you know, it's only the aircraft config file you have to tweak. But then again, maybe it is easier with these turboprops to taxi. Maybe they are kind of easy, but it just feels like the turning on side to side feels pretty smooth, but it just feels like it gets crazy fast going, like crazy fast.
Tower on 118.5.
We're doing flaps 10. You can see it down here as well. We'll put on the lights. Strobe, is that a thing? Doesn't look like it, but we'll be fine. So we'll ask for takeoff, and let's have our co-pilot do that for us.
Amapola 4003 ready for departure.
And here you can see our route.
Amapola 4003 wind star 044 at 5 knots.
I don't think anyone is going for a landing.
Runway 08 cleared for takeoff.
And I actually did,
squawk 560.
as a homage to the
Runway
GoPro,
08
I put
cleared for takeoff, squawking
a view
5641
here in front.
Amapola 4003.
But look at this view, it looks great from the inside. I mean, Carenado's aircraft are just beautiful. This is really like, how would say, even Microsoft Flight Sim standard. I mean, crazy beautiful. Look at this, the cabin as well. Hell, it even looks better than a lot of the ones in X-Plane. It's crazy, like, how well they could do some of these. And this is like almost 10 years ago by now. You can open these, it's pretty fun. And then I have one of these window views. I think we got takeoff clearance, right? Clear for takeoff, squawking 5641. Amapola 4003. And we'll take off, and we're just gonna floor the throttles and get going. It's a beautiful day of flying. Look at those cumulus clouds, and it's gonna look amazing. I think it's done a really good job with the version 2 in sense. I think autogen wise, not as many as I would have wanted, but or like in terms of trees and coverage, but he's done a really good job. And let me rephrase that. In terms of southern Sweden, it's good with autogen, but the more north you go, you kind of lose the trees, so that's a bit annoying. But apart from the autogen, the photo reel looks great now, and now we have winter photo reel as well, which is something I really wanted for Sweden, since his Finnish or Finland version has that. But yeah, I hope he gets more autogen in the Finland version, because that's the only thing that I'm not sure if I want to get it if there's not more autogen. That's kind of my thinking, but you know, it's only €7, so I might get it anyway, just to support. Okay, let's get going. I think that's sufficient in terms of thrust, or whatever you call it, RPMs. Not sure what you call it actually. Do you call it thrust? I guess you call it thrust, right? Maybe that's fine with turboprops. Don't wanna step on anyone's toes. Okay, V1, rotate. I would say over 100 knots you can kind of rotate with this bird. Let's get that. Nose up and those gears. We'll turn a bit to the right, and I'm actually gonna zoom in a bit, because yeah, I think 2 nautical miles is a pretty good one. So now we're climbing. We'll go flap 0. And I mean, look at this. We're gonna have to trim a bit. But yeah, it just looks great. I'm actually not, you know, usually with a lot of planes, if they feel too kind of light in terms of simulation, I don't really want to fly them. But the Carenado ones, with the exception of the Saab 340, which I don't like at all for some reason in terms of how it handles, the rest are quite nice. The Fokker 50 is definitely not the top ones. I think the B120 and the ATR are my favorite ones. Those feel like they have a bit more effort into them, which I guess makes sense because they were the latest ones developed for by Carenado for P3D. But the Fokker 50 also feels very nice. And I mean, look at that view. I mean, this really, I mean, of course the clouds could be better, but in terms of the ground, it just looks really realistic. And it helps a lot to have a very nice cockpit that we can see this all from. And this is a nice view too. Maybe I should start flying like this.
Control Amapola 4003, climbing to flight level 060.
060. God, I just want to keep on manually flying. Feels great. And let's see. Is that off automatically? I guess it makes sense.
4003, you are off course.
Okay, we're
Turn
gonna turn
left to
left.
heading 325 to return to course.
They're pretty quick on
Heading 325.
correcting me if I fly wrong.
4003.
Yeah, look at this. Just amazing. Maybe I should add a PBR on the outside of the aircraft from the interior view. I just didn't want to mess with the model converter. It's always a risk, you know, animations get lost in the conversion process, etc. But I guess from the interior it doesn't really matter if you see the gear or not. Or I guess it does with this one actually, because you do see the gear. But there's, yeah, some of the animations, because the exterior model seems to be working fine, even if that has been tweaked with to get the PBR. Okay, let's see. It's pretty nice to fly this one. It trims pretty well. I just think I'll need to lose a bit. We're gonna go to climb. I think we can. Maybe that was a bit too much, to be honest. I'm not sure how this one wants to be flown. Do you want to push it? Like, do you want to keep it on top, or do you want to bring it down? I'm gonna decrease a bit the aim of our climb, or in terms of how steep we want our climb to be. Yeah, look at this beauty. Here we have a lot of forests and stuff, and that looks
Turn left to heading 345
that looks
to
great.
return to course.
But not sure why we are arguing. We're basically on the right course, so yeah, I have no clue actually.
Amapola 4003 climb and maintain flight
Okay, let's
level
trim down a
110.
bit.
Climb and maintain flight level.
But yeah, a lot of fun to
110.
fan fly actually.
Amapola 4003.
Definitely doesn't feel like the best model, but it just feels kind of stable to fly. I mean, I'm pretty sure I could do a pirouette and stuff. Oh, they want us to climb higher to 11,000. So let's put that in. Acel. Vertical. We'll continue with 1,000. But yeah, so far so good. At least no complaints from my end. Maybe we should take a nice picture here, just so I don't forget. Helps with the cloud as well. You can more clearly get text to show. You can also choose between the flight director if you want the V bar. Let me just check how, yeah, so that one. I'm not sure which one is more correct. Let me check. Fokker 50 flight director. Let me check. Usually a V bar actually. Let me check if we can see what Amapola had. Amapola cockpit Fokker 50. It's always Fokker 50 pictures. God damn it, they're never zoomed in enough. This one, hard to say actually. I need to turn to the right a bit. Just this. It's so hard to find, just like, give me a picture where it shows the... Oh, we need to focus on flying the plane as well. But yeah, it would have been interesting to see any picture with that would show the V bar. Come on. They had pictures of everything else but the V-bar. Here maybe. Does this look like a V-bar? I think that's a V-bar. So we're gonna go with the V-bar. I do prefer the cross, I think. I think it's easier to kind of follow the movements. The V-bar's benefit, I guess, is the pitch might be a bit easier, but I'm not even sure about that. I think the cross is just better, generally speaking, to be honest. But okay, so far so good. We'll engage the autopilot. I'm gonna put this up to 19,000, because we're pretty sure we're gonna be getting higher and higher clearances.
Turn left to heading 345 to return to course.
And I still don't know why they're being so such sticklers with everything.
Amapola 4003 climb and maintain flight level
345. We're basically flying 345.
Maintain flight level 150.
Yeah, strange.
Amapola 4003.
But yeah, and we have about 1 hour to go. Maybe it will. We can maybe ascend a bit slower, keep the speed. But yeah, it's gonna take some time. We'll be climbing up. Let me turn off the landing lights. We can turn off the seatbelt sign. But yeah, just look at this. It's very beautiful, and I think. Let me see actually if I can find that YouTube channel again from Flight Deck. I think I watched their latest one, and now I think this one is. Yeah, I muted it just so we wouldn't get. Oh, but now Flight Radar started talking instead. I'm gonna remove that. But yeah, as you can see, kind of here in the front. Also flying over the Baltic Sea, I presume. Coming back in. Of course, this looks better. I mean, look at the clouds. It's just fantastic. This is very much reminding me of X-Plane, actually. So in that sense, maybe I should get this one in X-Plane 12. The only thing is I've actually now decided to not use auto ortho anymore in X-Plane, and the reason is not related to performance or anything. It's just the space it takes. I don't fly X-Plane 12 enough. Plus the big one, the Simhaven buildings. I was comparing them to the default laminar ones, and they look atrocious. My God, how have I been able to fly with those? Even though they're placed correctly, but yeah, Laminar has done a really good job. So maybe with this new Simhaven update that's about to come out, maybe I'll go back to that. But I basically ditched Auto Ortho and Simhaven, and I'll just fly the regular one. I'm also kind of expecting that at some point Laminar might release the new, or some updates to the scenery, so it would be cool to kind of experience that. So I thought, yeah, what the heck, we can live without photoreal. We'll have some photoreal at some areas, but we won't have it global. Plus I don't want my SSD either. It's not a lot of gigabytes to download, right? But I don't want it riding all the time when I'm playing X-Plane. Or I guess that's the only benefit, to be honest. I'm not even sure it's that big of a risk. Not with this more modern SSDs. But yeah, so we are say
Amapola
what?
4003 resume navigation.
Resume navigation. Amapola 4003.
I am flying to Resna. Did I write that wrong? Was it not Artab? No, it was Artab. We were flying to Resna. Let me actually zoom in here. Yeah, because it's Artab, but then Rikpa. Well, it must have been, yeah, Rikpa. Okay, thank God we noticed that one. So this one is gonna be a Rikpa. And then we can remove Rikpa. Jesus. This is why you check a bit more closely when you do your flight plans, because that would have sent us on a crazy journey. Okay, still climbing. 55 minutes to go. It's always a bit longer with these turboprops. It's also one of the nice things with them. It's a bit slower, a bit different. I do personally, I guess, prefer flying on the jet ones because they're a bit faster. Not always, but from time to time. Specifically if it's a bit longer of a distance. But good. Let me see, still climbing towards 19,000. Lights are off. I think everything... The yaw damper has engaged itself. That's nice. Not gonna be any turbulence. And actually talking about that, let's check what my turbulence settings is. It's been a while.
Climb and maintain flight level
50. I think
flight level 190.
the suggestion is to have a bit of a lower one actually if you're flying. And you're not supposed to have the enhanced one if you're flying, for example with the FS Labs one. The recommendation is actually to have these much lower. It's I think it's supposed to be 20. But I think I'll put them to 40. 40, I think. 20 is a bit too low, I feel like if you're flying some less stable aircraft. So I think 40 is a good kind of compromise, so I don't have to change that every time I change plane. And the reason why I'm changing it also because I'm gonna add real turb. I'm hoping there'll be a sale. But there's some nice, let me just show you the different ones so you're also aware of them. But basically, they have one airport, Ioannina, or Ioannina, I don't know how it's pronounced, but it's in northern Greece, northwest. But you have this one, that's the clean air turbulence for global. Not that expensive, but it gets a bit more expensive when you have some of these, like the real Volmet one, that's not turbulence, that's just the 80s, is worth 20 euros. Maybe it's on sale and goes down to 10. But then these one, the Real Turb Asia, it helps when you have mountainous regions, more windy and stuff. It's really a big positive. Then you have Africa, Antarctica, that's free. So I'm gonna get that one. I'm not sure if I already have it. And then I want to get North America, Oceania. I want to get Asia, Europe, North America, and Oceania. And you can see when you press them, you'll get some input on what they include: relative turbulence, speed fluctuation, wind shifting effects. They also mesh with active sky, which makes it great actually. And then here what I wanted to show you is you can see the coverage, right? So that would be Oceania, that would be Africa, then this would be Europe, then yeah, North and South America. But let's see once we get there what or once I get that how it interacts. I think it will be very fun in some of these airports where wind can be more prevalent. So I'm actually looking forward to that. I'm a bit scared about like FPS effects, but hopefully it won't be too bad. But yeah, I think that's about it that I want to mention about a real turb. Is there anything else? I did a new list of things I want to purchase at some point. There's always things you want to purchase. My god, if I was flying Microsoft flights, it would be a never-ending smörgåsbord, as they say, or in Swedish, smörgåsbord, of different things to choose from, right? Pretty happy in that case that I kind of prefer P3D. It's more of a decreasing smörgåsbord. But yeah, the Gibson scene I want to get for Hong Kong and Northeast China. Very few gigabytes, but you get the nice photo reel on top. And Wait, maybe that's it in terms of like the more general stuff. There's a lot of airports. Yeah, I want to get the USS Enterprise from Team SDB. That I think is the best carrier available since Simworks pulled their carrier from sale. A bit of a bummer. Okay, let's see now. We're coming up to 19,000 soon enough, so we're gonna see if this ASL feature will work. You can see we're dropping a bit in airspeed, but that might not mean that we're dropping in Mach. But maybe we are. But we're soon gonna level off. And you can see we're not going that high, so we're still seeing the clouds. There doesn't seem to be anything on the weather radar though. So in terms of risks, we should be fine. One thing to consider is, do we have terrain radar actually? So we have VX or map. That's actually the dim one, so not sure if it does anything. But then the question is, do we have anything to swap for terrain? I think you have that on the ATR, and now we can see that cell is kicking in, so we're gonna be on altitude hold. We forgot to run this clock when we started, but yeah, I can't find any terrain. That's interesting. A bit of a bummer, to be honest. Could it be up here maybe? No. Must have terrain, right? All of these more modern ones do. Guess technically you could try to integrate the RXP GTN. Not sure where they put it on this one. Did they ditch these, or how does that work? But yeah, because that one has terrain, right? Oh well, not the end of the world. But I'll then take a break and I'll leave you guys with this view. I think this will be nice once we get out of the cloud layer. And I'm also gonna bring down Pilot ADC, so when I come in and check, I can see a bit how this flight is actually going. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the views, and let's see you in a jiffy.
Turkish to Quebec Delta, con 132.755, bye-bye. 132.755, bye-bye, Turkish to Quebec. Quebec 90 Bravo Golf, level 390, electricity, negative, COC. Quebec 90 Bravo Golf, and that's fine. Delta 6834, descend level 340, keep 1000 more. 340, 1000 more, 6834. Easy 907 Golf Excel, cost 135, that's 1980, bye-bye. 135, that's 1980, 897, Golf Excel, bye. Yeah, France 114 Fox, flight 295 coming 340 on code Echo, and requesting flight 350 for cruise. From 114 Fox, that's 5, the stop climb level 330 and proceed direct to airfield. Stop climb flight level 330 and proceed direct airfield, Air France 114 Fox. From 905 Zulu Hotel, report you're heading through 136480, bye-bye. I'm heading 136480, Air France 95 Zulu, bye-bye. Whiskey Hotel, line number 3702, Bombay. Two stations, Ryanair and Niner Whiskey Hotel, identified. Morning. And the speedbird Niner 06 November, hello, identified, flight level 350. Morning. France 1044, passing level 300, cabin 340, equal 350 for the cruise. France 1044, identified, climb level 350. 350, France 1044, thank you. Banana 0 Bravo Golf, continue heading. Continue heading, Banana Bravo Golf. Air France 114 Foxtrot, turn left 5 degrees, stand by level 350. Left 5 degrees, climb cycle 350. 114 Fox.
Delta 117 is 300. Delta 117, identify circuit DNet. Track DNet, Delta 117.
Ryanair X8 X-ray Quebec, flight level 380 Dennis, TPDLC.
Ryanair 8 X-ray Quebec identified.
Good morning, 50360 to Turkish.
516 Delta Alpha Matrix identified.
Carenado 72 Tango, flight level 380 inbound Salmon.
Scandinavian 72 Tango identified. Would you be able 1,000 feet higher?
Come in. This is Canadian 72 Tango, we're able level 390, whenever.
Roger, I call you. Alpine 1 Romeo Quebec, flight level 340 to negation. Alpine 19 Romeo Quebec identified. Procedure to Brussels. Brussels, bedankt. Alpine 19 Romeo Quebec.
Subjet 77 Yankee, flight level 39, sir.
Subjet 77 Yankee identified. Lufthansa 465 Heavy Pedal Adhesive Zero. Lufthansa 465 identified. Roger.
Amapola 4003, expect the ILS Yankee approach to runway 12 at Hornskoldsvik Airport.
Expect the ILS Yankee approach to runway 12. Amapola 4003.
KLM 77 Hotel, code 132880. Bye bye.
13280, okay, 1177 Hotel, bye.
Zurich 485 Delta, cost 135, that's 19 or 80, bye-bye.
135, 982, Hamburg 487, have a bye.
Speedbird 90 Bravo Golf, direct to ESSA, and call 135 310, bye-bye.
Direct to ESSA, right, 135, 310, bye-bye.
Easy 13, X-ray uniform, out of station, Brussels.
Golf Hotel Alpha Sierra Sierra, maintaining flight level 280, we are direct to Dennis.
Golf Hotel Alpha Sierra Sierra, identified.
Good morning, this is the 5 Hotel, out of 6521, close to Amapola.
Luton 5 Hotel and answering today, identified. Front 16 Delta Alpha, proceed up to Devon.
Direct to Devon, Alpha Center.
Lufthansa 465, start unit SEPA from 310.
Yeah, Lufthansa 465, that's 310, leaving over 370. Thank you, Foxtrot Juliet, passing flight 195, climbing 240 on course, Stockholm.
Hotel Alpha Yankee Fox Juliet, you identified. Climb level 290, Rodan Bobby.
Climb flight level 290 on course to Bombay, thank you, Foxtrot Juliet, thank you. Emirates 43 Charlie, flight level 370.
Emirates 43 Charlie, you identified.
Thank you.
Delta 117, turn left heading 2905.
Left heading 2905, Delta 117.
Lufthansa 465, continue heading, descent level 250, and keep 2000 for.
On present heading down level 250, 2000 or more, Lufthansa 465.
Hotel Foxtrot Juliet, continue heading Pampa 330.
Heading, climbing, flight level 330 for traffic. Swiss 78 November, passing level 211, climbing level 240.
Swiss 78 November, hello, identified. Climb Pampa 310, direct to Groningen.
Climb level 310 on course Groningen. We are at the moment not able to connect the CDLs.
No problem. What's your requested level?
7. 310 is fine for Swiss 78 November.
Thank you.
Lufthansa 7 Charlie Spray, level 360 inbound, Charlie Oscar Alpha.
Lufthansa 7 Charlie Express, identified.
Amapola 4003 descent and maintain flight level 140.
Descent and maintain flight level 140. Amapola 4003.
Condor 950, flight level 340.
Condor 950, hello, identified. Hotel Foxtrot Juliet, what's your request level?
Request climb 3990.
Roger. Lufthansa 465, Dr. Ramov again, and Volkswagen 33435, bye-bye.
33435 and direct Ramov, Lufthansa 465, bye-bye.
Hotel Foxtrot Juliet, Papa 350, direct to Bombay.
350, direct Bombay, Hotel Foxtrot.
Delta 117, O navigation, direct to CNET, cons 1359080, bye-bye.
35980 and direct DNAT, confirmed.
The Hotel Fox Juliet.
Go ahead, Hotel Foxtrot.
If I would steer you 2,000 feet higher, would you be able to be level in 5 minutes?
Hotel Foxtrot.
Roger, I'll call you back in 30 seconds. Aircraft 16 Delta Alpha, descent flight level 310.
Descending flight level 310, Alpha 16 Delta Alpha.
Hotel Foxtrot Juliet, climb flight level 370, be level in 5 minutes.
Climbing level 370, level in 5 minutes for Delta Juliet.
Okay, let's do it. We only have about 70 nautical miles left, and they want us to descend to 14,000 feet. We might have... I didn't check if we had a descent point in our own FMC, but we have a descent point that we haven't yet reached on Pilot 2DC at least. Let's do 14,000. We'll do vertical. We'll go down with, I would say, 1,400 I think should be good enough. I will pull. And actually one thing I totally forgot. Cruise. That should have been the setting that we put. But okay. Not the end of the world. So we're gonna slow down quite a bit actually. I was a bit too slow there on the trigger. And what we're gonna have a look at, let me just check. Expect ILS Y approached to runway 12. Okay, so we're gonna get a direct approach. So arrival, no star, but approach, number 2. And we can go to the flight plan and have a look here. Actually, that's a bit annoying. Let me get back, because we are flying to ESSA first. And then we're actually flying to the airport itself. Question is though, can we even put that as a waypoint? Yeah, we can. Because I don't know, we're basically, or my guess is we're gonna be vectored. So let's see what we get. Okay, about 60 nautical miles. It's gonna be the ILS. So what we do know is the frequency is 110.1. I'm pretty sure that if I'm reading it correctly, 110.1. So let's put that into our system. There we go. The course is supposed to be 116, so we're gonna come in from a totally different angle. Okay, that was pretty quick. Let's see if we can get it 116.
Hotel Foxtrot Juliet, call from 36.480, bye-bye.
1. And let me actually go back to the LNAV mode. And then we can continue saying this 1. Yeah. Oh yeah, you press right and then you go in different increments.
Amapola 4003 descent and maintain flight level 090.
116.
Descent and maintain flight level 090.
9er.
Amapola 4003.
0. And I think we can actually go, we can descend a bit slower at 1,200. Oh yeah, Another thing I forgot to set the altimeter correct. Should have gone to standard. It's not the end of the world though. Luckily, PAL TDC doesn't react on that. They kind of follow your altimeter. 1023. It's at 5000 transition, but we're just gonna put it in already. But yeah, as you can see, there's not a lot to see. It looks like there's quite an overcast. And let me actually double check the weather. We don't have a lot of visibility. The overcast is at 800 feet with few at 500. So not the weather we want. Our minimums are 560. So we're on the cusp here. I don't even know. I didn't even check what our alternate was, to be honest. That was a bit of a rookie mistake. Okay, 560 is our... So we're gonna put that in the decision height here. 560. And let's try to follow here if we can start seeing the ILS being captured. It's gonna take a bit of time. It's only... Well, it's still quite a bit of flying left to do. Yeah, like 50 nautical miles of flying left to do. But we'll soon get there, and we'll see if it picks up the ILS and how they plan on vectoring us, to be honest. I'm gonna add a bit of thrust. How are we looking in terms of fuel consumption? Looking really good, actually. Nothing to complain about in that regard. It's a beautiful, beautifully modeled cockpit as well. In terms of the things you don't use, I don't think you can open the window, so that's a bit of a bummer. Not the end of the world though. And but I mean, there's not. If we assume that everything that's shown here is what you would see in a normal one, I mean, there's not a lot that I think. I mean, some things could be better. I'm gonna guess, for example, these air conditioning ones. Maybe these could be... I mean, what we can check though, let's raise a bit the cabin one and the flight, and let's see if that has any effect on the air conditioning. I mean, these are the kind of things, right, that, you know, you could check with the system. Does it have any effect? I doubt it. But I guess those are the things you would want to be simulated if you wanted something a bit more immersive. Anti-ice? Well, we can put it on, for example. I didn't check that with our flight plan. And that is something that is, of course, important to check, but I can't see any icing warnings. And my guess is because it's so cold anyway, right? Let's throttle down a bit. So we're gonna be overspeeding again. Okay. Seatbelt sign is... Oh, they put it themselves. That's pretty nice. I'll put the landing lights on.
4003 QNH is 1023.
1023.
Descend and maintain 2,900 feet.
2,900.
QNH is 1023. Descent and maintain 2,900 feet.
Yeah, it's not a lot left now.
4003.
Still haven't gotten any further vectors or similar. But we'll trust the process here. But yeah, this is gonna be a bit interesting. I've never flown into this airport. Based on what I can see, there's some hilltops surrounding the airport at around 1,000 feet, but there shouldn't be any risk of 1,300. There's some kind of where it starts. Actually, there's one at 1,100, so we can't go too low, and that's being, let me see, D4. So and actually that's, yeah, even D4, that's only 10 nautical miles away, actually even less, 7, 8 nautical miles away from the runway threshold. So we'll have to be a bit careful with that in mind, just so we don't descend too low. I really like this viewpoint. This really, this is a good one actually. I did set it up myself, so I'm pretty proud. But it really kind of shines on all the kind of, it presents the cockpit in a good light. I mean, I just like how it all looks. It's great. It's actually a bit of a shame that the PBR mod from Simmerson, maybe it works better in P3 version 6, but here in version 5 it just looks so much better without the PBR in the cockpit. The only aircraft I've added PBR in the cockpit a bit is the DC-9, and there I've also had to like scale it back and tweak a bit because it's very hard to find like the perfect amount of it. So I've only now added it in DC-9 on like the yoke and some other places, which makes it look where it seems fine that it's a bit glossy, but yeah. Okay, let's pull back a bit more on the thrust. This flex stem though, I'm a bit surprised we can't see it. Not sure why that is though. Now let me see here again. Do we know more about... We can't really see, but I would hope there's gonna be a nice vector here. Like that's planned somehow. And let's change to 700 feet per minute. We're in no rush to descend faster. I'm gonna add a bit of thrust to compensate for the decrease in descent rate. And as you can see, we're coming down into the clouds. Look at those nice, what is it, cirrus stratus? Well, whatever it is, it looks very nice.
Send to maintain flight level 250. Be level in 8 minutes. American Niner.
Okay, what can't we forget? Do we have any input on this one? Weight, kilo, takeoff speeds. This is actually a pretty good one. This I kind of like when they add these things. I mean, if you're gonna add a paper, don't add a weird chart showing how to land and stuff. I mean, even if it's realistic, but it's just not useful, right? Instead, add landing speed and stuff you can actually use. So here we could, for example, calculate our weight with the kilos, even though we loaded it up with pounds, right? So wouldn't have been the easiest, but but yeah. Okay, let's see if we can descend maybe a bit faster. Let's do 800 feet per minute. We're at 5,000. Let's do 1,000. I do want to get down in time as well. I don't want to fall behind. Okay, 4,900. So we have 2,000 to go. Should be fine, with the big caveat that we don't have any terrain radar, which will make this flight a bit harder. Not sure if you could fly without that. Maybe it depends on the airport you would be flying to, but yeah, I'm not sure if I would feel confident if I knew the pilots didn't have their terrain radar available. Because I'm pretty certain this one would have had it, but let's Google it. We can use Google Fokker 50 terrain radar. Let me see. Some people talking about the Fokker 50 Carenado on the X-Plane forums, but nothing. Nothing in terms of the terrain radar. Okay. Anything else? AI didn't even add anything. Here's a review. Does this review mention No terrain. It's crazy how some of these things aren't mentioned. Oh well. Oh, and we are gonna reach 2,900. Actually much sooner than I figured. Let's have a look a bit at our speed. I'm gonna add a bit of torque. Is it torque? Yeah, it's torque. Maybe we shouldn't call it thrust, it's torque actually. Oh, and look at that. Just as I by mistake clicked the outside view, we are in crazy weather. Fun. We love this. This is flying. We don't have any rain effects, but we'll have some nice wipers working. Turn left heading 295.
295 vectors to the ILS approach for runway 12 QNH is 1023, Amapola 4003.
And God, I need to zoom a bit. There we go, heading. And 295, right? ILS 295. Let me check if we're seeing it. Yeah, we have picked it up now. You can see the VR needle showing where it is, so that's good news. We'll zoom in a bit here as well. That's this button. Since we're no longer flying the FMC, 290, let's turn a bit further then. We'll change from nav, you can choose here between nav 1, nav 2. Here you have the flight director switch, doesn't seem to do anything. And we can keep the ground speed 1. I would say now it would be more important to have this HSI mode. Just because it's gonna be easier to see once we're on the localizer. But yeah, look at this weather. If you were a passenger now, it would look crazy. Just such a beautifully modeled plane. I'll give Carenado that. It makes a lot of difference, to be honest. And let's try to really listen to them now and not look at the pilot TDC and see if they can vector us in correctly. One big bummer is that you can't have open 2 different ones. I think not, at least. Let me see if it changes. Yeah, they're connected. That would be actually a thing to look at. Could you change that maybe? Because maybe you could integrate another. Me just thinking out loud now, but yeah, it's a bit frustrating. Let's have a look at the map again, just quickly here. So that the normal viewpoint. Yeah, we can see we're still flying. We can actually keep the map on a bit longer, but we're gonna have to tweak it eventually. Still find it though interesting. So the runway is what? 115 degrees? Then the low place. Is it like an offset or am I misunderstanding this? These are from March 2016 though, so it's a bit older ones I found online. They should work, should be sufficiently updated. It's not like there's new terrain that grows up around the airport or that the small airport like Örnsköldsvik would get an upgrade. For level fresh air scoop. Okay, that's pretty cool. Floor vent. Okay, can't do that. Side panel. There's some buttons you can't click, not surprisingly, but of course it would be nice if they were simulated. I'm gonna add a bit more torque. Still haven't gotten any further vectoring, but we're gonna get it eventually. Question is just how long. Can't put this on before we have our gear down. Not sure if that's realistic behavior, because I think it's the same on a lot of the Carenado ones. If it's not, then it's a bit unnecessary. Why even have that? But who knows? Anything else we can explore on this bird that we haven't really checked? I mean, there's not much. ADFs, comms, you have that capability, aileron trim. Don't wanna mess with that now, but there it is. You can switch these on, but I'm not sure they're gonna do anything. Knob mic. Can pull these off to get the selectors. And let's check that we are on the right one. We're supposed to be, well, I guess on the one we're now. 295, 29er. I'm gonna check quickly what they're thinking on Pilot ADC just to make sure that we're not flying something ridiculous. No, they have a plan actually for us. Good. I can hide that. But yeah, these vectorings are they're a bit crazy how far they'll have you fly. Not sure how, maybe it's realistic though. I'm just a bit afraid flying further in. Because, well, actually I'm not now that I'm looking at the chart. The highest mountains are around
Amapola
1,800.
turn right to heading 295.
Okay, turn right heading
2905. Amapola 4003.
295. So far though, it's been a pretty nice experience. Let's see how it interacts once we get on the approach, because I'm gonna want to use the autopilot. It's always a good way to kind of test the aircraft out. Can you do the ILSs? That's always a good sign. It's very, what I like, or it's very different aircraft. What I like specifically about the Fokker is just like the nose, so pointy, and then look at this. Such a, I wonder if it's, why would you have that? I guess crosswinds, like you're gonna have a tail that's gonna take quite some hits when there's a crosswind. So I guess that limitations on speed or yeah, the wind is gonna be quite high. Anything else? Anything we can look in the cabin? I don't think there's anything specific. Not sure what that yellow haze is. Was that like... Is it the clouds we're going through that somehow reflects, or... Hard to know for sure. I don't think there's any other click spots. I tried to check, like, are there anything else you can click here? But well, it doesn't look to be anything. If we do go a bit forward here in the cabin, you can see we have no admittance, cabin only, door locked during flight. Yeah, that's
Amapola
fun times.
4003 turn right to heading 025.
Turn right to heading 025. Amapola 4003.
025. That's a pretty steep turn we're gonna do. 025, and we're still doing yeah, still doing it. It's a right turn. 025. So we're definitely going north now and northeast a bit. So we might actually be reaching now. Let's see what we get here in sight. Maybe that's gonna be one of the waypoints. I'm almost wanting to, you can see the glide slopes here coming alive, and I would also want to activate the approach, and that must be this one, V app, right? Or is it the GS one? Yeah, it's the GS one. Good, let me check that. Okay. But yeah.
Amapola
Oh no, more turns we
4003,
can't.
you are 17 nautical miles west of the airport.
Yeah, turn.
Fly heading 085 to intercept final.
0.
Cleared for ILS Yankee approach to runway 12. Contact Ovid Tower on 122.25.
Fly heading 085.
Actually, it's funny how this
Cleared for
aircraft
ILS Yankee approach
moves.
to
Feels like I'm in
runway
X-plane, having a hard time.
Tower on 122.25.
Turning the knob.
Amapola
Okay, 085. We'll activate the localizer. I'm gonna change the map mode to this.
Tower Amapola 4003. Inbound for ILS approach runway 12.
50 nautical miles out.
Amapola 4003,
means
good afternoon, continue
we can
ILS to runway 12.
slow down a bit.
Established on final.
What about the
Continue
flaps?
ILS runway 12 will call
So
when
we have flaps
established on
25
final.
and
Amapola
35.
4003.
Let's do flaps 25. I think that makes sense. What's the speed gonna be? Saying we're around 19. About 100 knots, yeah. I'll add some flaps. We should be at D7. That's gonna be about how many nautical miles? Well, we should get there pretty shortly. Yeah, we can see it now. I'm actually gonna help it a tiny bit by moving the heading knob as well. I don't want us to overshoot. The localizer is being captured now, so that's a good sign. We can't see the glide slope yet. We have 11 nautical miles. Maybe it's actually a bit closer than the... But I think that the glide slope is gonna start coming down pretty shortly. Okay, let's do flaps 10. So yeah, let's do this, guys. Okay, I think you want to change this to takeoff. Not sure if you can land with yaw damper or not. Let's keep it on for now. I'm still waiting for that glide slope to start coming down. We're at 9.7. The glide path is 3.25. And what's the final approach fix? Good question. Yeah, now it's coming down. Let's drop the gears. Let's do flaps 25. And I'm gonna slow down a bit. And we'll have the glide slope. Okay, let's wait. I don't think we have the gear. Yeah, there we go. Now we're on flaps 25. Glide slope. Supposedly connect, or supposedly we're on the glide. 1, 2, 3 was the barrow. So let's put that in here. And oh yeah, there's nothing else to say, right? Good. So we are descending. Maybe a bit quicker than we would want. So I'm gonna slow down a bit more. Yeah, look at that, the vertical. We're going a bit crazy with it. It's really bouncing around. That's not a that's not a good way to do this approach, can I? Does the yaw dampener have any effect? Yaw dampener hold. I mean, we are able to follow the glide, but it's really going up and down. What was the knots here? Variable at 3? There's nothing. 4.1? That can't be. We're way too high. So the glide slope is definitely not working as intended. And what that makes me wanna do is almost take manual control of this, because it might get us killed, right? I mean, look at the speed fluctuations. I'm gonna push this down myself now. I really don't want to do this, but we'll have to. So let's try to get stabilized. Yes, that's a bit of a bummer actually. That kind of destroys when you can't even follow the glide slope somewhat appropriately. Okay, let's see. We want to keep it steady. Okay, it's going a bit.
4003 winds are light and variable. Clear to land
To the
runway
right.
12.
Clear
Clear
to
to
land runway
land.
12. Amapola 4003.
Okay, let's push down. Okay, we're seeing the runway. So yeah, that's good news. Runway in sight. Now we just need to continue descending. 500. And I guess we'll get the minimum call out soon, I hope. Yeah, there we go. Örnsköldsvik, here we come. Looks pretty okay. Maybe a bit of a lack of trees, but nothing too bad. We're way too fast though. And there we can see a bit of the light. That's pretty nice. Maybe it depends on the airport you're landing at. Okay. I think we landed with kind of everything at the same time, all the wheels. So maybe not the best landing. Kind of probably a wet or soggy runway, a lot of snow, right? Okay, I think this will do.
123, surface wind 280 degrees, 13 knots, runway 28 left.
Maybe it would have helped to have more flaps. Maybe that's the thing, right? But okay, not the end of the world. Let's have a look then at the replay of how that landing actually played out. Let's turn here and get to Örnsköldsvik. It looks like a pretty nice airport actually. But I think the thing here is that, yeah, because this is the default runway, so then it's gonna work pretty nice there. But you can see it on the snow here as well, so I'm actually not sure. Well, not gonna speculate as to how the lights are working, but yeah, good to see them working at least. But yeah, I would say that the ILS have these big issues with the ATR nor with the B120. So this was kind of interesting seeing the difficulties this one had. It wanted to go 200 and it wanted to climb 2,000 feet climbing, 700, 2,000 feet just jumping back and forth. So that's a big kind of minus in my book. The thing is, when you remember that, you get like, don't want to fly it, you know, I can't trust the aircraft. And that's the biggest minus you can get in my book. You want to trust the aircraft you're flying. And of course some aircraft aren't as advanced as others, but you do want to feel like, hey, I know what this aircraft can do, I know what it can't do, but I do in the end trust it. And look at that, there we have a Fokker, and is that Amapola? Look at that, is that Big Mike? Must be Big Mike. Looks a bit like it, right? Right? Or maybe it's just another variant of this bird. But very cool to see. I think it helped that I added 50% AI, because then you get actually some AI. So we'll just go over here and park. But yeah, this is a pretty good airport actually. It's I think it's even better than Umeå. Or maybe not better, but kind of the same level. It's not easy to find the Swedish ones. Or easy. It's not hard, but it'd be nice, of course, if there were some more quality ones like SD or VSP and some of those. I'm gonna keep the lights on mainly for the replay. Otherwise, it wouldn't really matter. But I think it will look much nicer on the replay with that on, even if it's gonna blind the crew here on the ground. Let's actually see if we can reverse ourselves into positions. Are they strong enough? Yeah, look at that. Oh, but yeah, you don't want to do that. Tail strike, fun times. But yeah, nice. Let's leave on these wipers as well. Let's shut the engines. And let's do the replay. Boom, boom, boom. I think 260 is gonna be sufficient. Yeah, you can see there's definitely missing trees here. There's a bit more, which looks very nice. We're coming in with quite a steep angle. Maybe if higher flap level would have been good. Let's see how we kind of level off. My fear is that we don't do it enough, because we don't want to land with the front. Yeah, I think we just about touched with the back wheels before the front one. And then we added those thrust reversers, or we're gonna call it reverse propellers, and then some brakes as well. So yeah, overall a pretty nice flight. If you have any questions, or and actually let me check. Oh yeah, we got landing clearance, but I kind of ignored that with Pilot ADC. Not worth the hassle. But yeah, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Always fun to make these with actual airlines and flying some real routes. It can be a lot of fun. So do always feel free to come with suggestions. I might not always do them, but I'll definitely take them under consideration. But yeah, thank you for watching, and oh, now I lost my mouse. There we go. And have a good one. Bye bye.